Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Pie in the Sky, your favorite baking podcast where we give you recipes you can make in an airplane bathroom. But first, we've got to talk about something even higher than the sky. Veggie on Sundays.
Oh, yeah. I've made so many things in an airplane bathroom.
And our sponsor,
That
Once
was
Upon
galaxy
a Galaxy.
That was a stars bit. Every time. And here's the thing. Kuro, keep this in. I know he knows. I know he knows every time. I never tell him what the bit is. I know he's keeping up with it. I know he's like, no, not good enough.
Oh, Once Upon a Galaxy, which is our sponsor for today's episode, is honestly like my second favorite game right now because there's Magic and then there's Once Upon a Galaxy. And well, yeah, they haven't put out a Super Smash Brothers in a million years, so that has dropped off. But yes, they sponsor Decked Out and this podcast specifically, and it's just been great. It's a mobile auto battler that is card based. The big thing that they've just implemented recently is a monthly tournament, which has made me very happy. I scrubbed out of the first one, and then I got there on the second one, so now I have a fancy little thing that tells everybody that matches up with me that I'm really good at the game and they suck.
And if you don't believe Veggie, I'll tell you a little bit more about the design team. It is based completely around people who have designed Magic or played Magic competitively. LSV is part of that design team, as well as some of the old school R&D for Wizards. So you know there's a lot of thought put into this game. It's really, really good. You should check it out. Mobile and PC, free to play. You can use the link down below in the description to let them know we sent you and to support your favorite podcast.
Yes. Oh, by the way, for the next one, can you like lead me into the sponsor read with some sort of thing?
I tried to save it. I don't know.
best.
I feel like I always just ruin the
I'll
bit.
do my best. I'll do my level. We're talking about archetypes. We've moved on from Spellslinger. We're talking today about aristocrats. And like every archetype talk, we're going to start with a basic definition because things in Magic are often just semantic quibbling. And we want to get all of that out of the way in this first 30 seconds. So basic definition of aristocrats is when you play a deck that is bad and sucks.
Yeah, and it's annoying and then you lose to it.
Yes.
Hey. Yeah. That's right. You had me in the first half there.
All right, so cut that right there. Don't add
Put some respect on it.
Right.
So aristocrats sacking stuff for value, most typically sacrificing small things for cards, treasures,
Yes.
life loss.
Yes, I believe specifically it does not include other forms of sacrifice. That for it to be an aristocrats deck, it has to be sacrificing small things at a high volume for bits of value. So it would not be like
Disciple of Bolas, collect Scion, draw 7.
Right, exactly.
That's not aristocrats.
That is not
That's
aristocrats.
poaching, I think.
right.
There is some versions, it's not super relevant or prevalent, I should say, but there's like the Witherbloom stuff where you sack larger creatures and make pests, which give you more fodder.
Which then feed into
More, yeah. So like,
But I think that only qualifies because it is producing a bunch of little things, and that is what is more important to you.
and that's hippie shit anyway.
Right.
Like if you're doing Witherbloom stuff, you basically have like a commune.
yeah,
right?
just
You're
say Golgari, you know?
just-
It's
all right,
Golgari.
Yeah, okay.
but it came out with Strixhaven, right? That was a thing. That was what they did. I don't know.
See, this is what the aristocrats players are like.
Quibbling over meaningless nonsense. Oh, how many 1/1s do I get? Do something cool. Do something flashy.
Can somebody count my triggers for me? I sacrifice 3 creatures. I get to deal 27 damage to the table.
Somehow, right. It's always fucking 27.
I'm catching so much shade right now.
That's why
As
we
you
picked this one for
should.
today.
Okay, so we know what it is. Let's talk about core principles for building it. We will start with the only one in this room who builds it regularly.
Yeah, put in Blood Artist and call it a day.
That was going to be mine.
Gotcha. I like aristocrats a lot because you get that value engine going. So I think the core principle of building the deck is making sure that you are getting enough resources back while putting your creatures in the wood chipper. So you need enough things that can profit off of that. And Blood Artist isn't enough, right? That's a good almost finisher, but the 1 point of damage is not actually gaining you any value. You need the other pieces that do the thing.
Yeah, you need stuff that does die to removal, because Blood Artist does not.
Yeah, Blood Artist does not,
Yeah.
no. I think I've got a principle.
Okay.
I think my core principle for building Aristocrats would be you have to have enough dog shit that doesn't contribute to your game plan to trick people. Because the thing about Aristocrats is that you're basically somebody who does all of your shopping at the Gap, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's very easily identifiable from a mile away what your problem's going to be. But crazy dog shit card that does nothing with your Aristocrat effects, they're like, oh, maybe they're different, and then you can get them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think actually my principle is going to go directly against that. I think
But between both of our 0 Aristocrat decks ever, you're going to contest me on this?
hey. I've built like 2.
Hey, my fault, sorry.
Yeah. No, actually I used to play a lot of it because it scratched that same spell slinger itch of like I would like to take 1 billion game actions.
Yeah.
Like really Aristocrats is the spell slinger. It's like creature spell slinger.
Okay, trader. Yeah, all right.
Right?
Creature spell slinger,
Yeah.
big difference. You don't go to a horse and it's like, this is a car without the engine,
Yeah, you
without
do.
wheels. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Look at this flesh car.
Look at this floor.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling
Right.
me.
Look,
You get behind the wheel, you're like, I love my horse, man.
at first I was like, you get
love
behind
my-
the wheel of your horse.
I
Yeah.
love behind my wheel. I love my wheel horse, dude. Shut up. Be serious.
So speaking of wheels, Spellslinger is like the Aristocrats of spells.
How?
And the core principle for me for Aristocrats is redundancy. They're all across all archetypes that exist. I think Aristocrats is the one where you both have the most cards that fill the exact same roles that are replaceable, and you should be running multiple copies of those things. So you know, Nurgle, you mentioned Blood Artists. Well, there's like 50 Blood Artists, and you can honestly just like pick like 10 at random and just jam them in the deck. Great. It doesn't matter which ones they are.
You sure can.
And it gives you that consistency that you need for the deck, but also gives you enough value for each individual trigger, which kind of was the principle that I was leaning into of 1 Blood Artist trigger for your sacrifice is not enough. You have net negatived your board state for not enough payoff. But if it is a treasure and 4 damage and whatever, you know, half a card draw for each creature you're sacking, now we're talking. You need all of those. The number is higher than 12 for Mald's last Spellslinger deck.
Well, yeah, also because you have fucking 50 of every version of every creature who does something good. Most spoon-fed archetype I have ever seen, and I hate it. It's genuinely, it's my pick for most Factorio-brained archetype in all of Magic, where it's like, God, I could have just handed you some Legos, man. What's happening? Could have handed you some Legos and a gun, and you could have shot me and then been on your merry way.
I mean,
Saved ourselves 2 hours. How dare you?
it's just a little foreplay, Mald. Don't worry about it.
Well, I was gonna say it's like handing somebody a bunch of Legos and like a safety pin to stab you to death and and then you said that and I was like, well, this now sounds really weird and specific for like 3 people that are like, oh wait, other people are into that, and I was like, let's not put that out there.
All right, what are the core principles for playing it? We'll snake draft. Start with you. How do you play Aristocrats?
Doesn't matter.
Oh my God.
Cards in your hand, you put them on the board. You're like, oh, I got a way to sacrifice it. Great, pick anything. Goes to the graveyard, win game, done.
Well, he's plagiarized me, but doesn't matter. Cards in your hand, play them. Sacrifice something. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. Goes to the graveyard, comes back, you win.
Make sure you keep your easy to remove payoffs off the board until you can do something fun with them. So maybe play like a Bastion of Remembrance, but hold your Blood Artist. Don't play it on turn 2. Chill for a minute.
Why is she trying to give real advice for this?
That's not even real advice. It doesn't matter.
You
can't
guys took
stop
Spellslinger
'cause we-
seriously. This is bullshit.
Right, that was your mistake. You also took Spellslinger seriously,
Yeah, you should
not
you should have been
knowing
throwing
this
rotten
is what we were going to
tomatoes.
do.
You should have been chucking old fruit from the rafters. Because here's the thing, right? We talked in Spellslinger about like, oh, well, what you do,
Yeah.
the moment you see them play a value piece, you remove it because then they're stuck. Aristocrats doesn't work.
Yep.
Because they have 20 copies of everything that matters. Play the Blood Artist on turn 2. Oh my god, Swords to Plowshares, you gain no life. I'll play my 3-mana Blood Artist. Blood
Yep.
Fartist.
Yep.
Have you not seen them? Have you not seen them? They're in the new Taco Bell Universes Beyond, the Spicy Chalupa. Oh my god, you Path to Exile them? You've ramped me to Poison Tip Archer, my 3rd Blood Artist that was in my opening. Come on.
Yeah. Path to Exile, like maybe take a bath to exile, but like
I don't even know what you guys are talking about anymore.
All right, so
it took this long.
Saying words.
Okay, playing Aristocrats. There are so few things that that are good against this strategy that the only thing that you need to keep in mind is what does stop you and making sure you have a plan for if that happens.
Yeah, like normally however you build your Aristocrat deck, you're typically going to be vulnerable to one very aggressive angle of attack. Like maybe you're vulnerable to a board wipe, maybe you're vulnerable to like early creature pressure, maybe you're vulnerable to graveyard exile if you like dumping things in the yard ahead of time.
I like that it took you to the third one to actually say something that stops Aristocrats at all.
No, board wipes can.
That's just
Not
most of
many.
the time.
You
That's
have to
just
be-
doing the work for you.
Right.
Well, okay, yeah, if you play a bad... Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I could, in fact, walk onto a rake and smack myself in the head and help you, but if you Sunfall, if you play the new Ultima, if you Farewell, like, there's a million board wipes that will exile or... There are options.
You named the 3.
Yeah, hey, play them.
Yeah.
Hey.
Honestly, I'm proud of Mald for naming 3.
Yeah.
I've Rivers rebuked Z while they play their Mardu Aristocrats deck, and I've watched all the joy leave their eye. You got options. Don't let them propagandize you. You can rise up against the bourgeoisie.
But that's the board wipes don't work. Like even those, you have to make sure you're resolving your Farewell when they don't have like a sack outlet on board, because the worst thing that happens to them at that point is they go, oh, okay, then I just turn all of my creatures into cards and draining your life totals. And then like, yeah.
Okay, liar. Let's talk about that for a minute, because you're both right. And at that point, I would consider the game lost. Like at that point, I would consider it
At the point where they have a sack outlet and things on board, that's
sack outlet and big board. If I'm board wiping because you have a sack outlet and 2 things, I'm a maniac. Like, yeah, you
Then
sack
at what point are you board wiping?
When they have one blood artist. When they have one blood artist, I am symmetrically wiping this table fucking clean. You play one thing, I am sending us back to the fucking Stone Age.
So Mald is using a 6-mana exile board clear for
Hell
one
yeah.
blood artist.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
I'm happy about it.
Blood Artist does not die to removal, but does die to board wipe. To single target board wipe.
Yeah. Exile hate's much more relevant.
Yeah. But wait. Then also you said, or creature pressure.
Oh yeah,
That-
just hitting them really hard.
No, Aristocrats also blanks that because they have so many expendable blockers that they go, great, block before damage dealt, sacrifice, get the same value I would have gotten.
I think that is cap. That is one thing. I think that to me seems like a symptom of political failure, because it's one of those, you as an individual definitely cannot pressure this motherfucker out. If you cannot point to the Bastion of Remembrance, again, I'm quoting every loss Z has ever experienced with their Aristocrats deck. If you can't point to the thing you believe like will tie their loop together and go, hey, we should all collectively jump this person, I think that is just a politicking diff. And that's you. I think if 3 people are pressuring them with creatures, and like one of you is pressuring them with a nothing creature, because one of you is playing Is It, and you like, yeah, I'll send my 2/2 for the cause.
Right.
But so if 2.1 people can't pressure with combat damage, that's another, like, I've seen it done many times. I believe that it doesn't work in especially higher bracket play, but like I have not played against NerdGirl's Aristocrat decks. I have played against many Aristocrat decks, and I have consistently beaten them by just going like, wow, Bastion of Remembrance does what? Can I read that? And then 3 people go, and it's just Viscera on the walls.
It's a good card.
Like I've never seen. I've seen sometimes the factory get set up and then they have infinite blockers. It's much more often I see people have redundancy in things that make damage or things that draw cards, and they neglect enough redundancy in things that make repeatable creature blockers, and they can really only fog you for like 1 rotation, and then they get into trouble.
Okay, so you have beaten all of the bad Aristocrats decks.
Yeah, which is most people with Vox Populi. So I think that would then, I think this becomes a point of, if you want to be a good Aristocrats player, focus more on having redundancy in things that can chump and not just in things that provide value. Because I do think most deck builders in general, whenever you're building for any archetype, they just go for like, oh, what value loop can I do? How can I get a card and a mana and it sounds like we're de facto arguing for, well, one of the big tickets is how do you get a guy to not get eaten by the 8/8 no trample? Because that's how I'm trying to get you. And I've killed many of you. And I will kill again. Does that sound reasonable? Or are we still beefing? I'll beef all day.
I guess if your perspective is from, well, I played a lot of bad players and decks on this archetype and they are super beatable, then I won't argue that.
Well, right, but the point is like the difference between easily beatable, not easily beatable is ability to respond to combat pressure. How do we feel about that?
I still don't think that's true, because let's say you're 2.1 players versus Aristocrats. Great. So they blank 1 player because they block, sacrifice their stuff. Then they also blank half of another player because they've gained like life per creature that they've sacrificed.
I find that to be a hollow deck argument. That has not translated into real life in the games I have had ever. So anecdote police, bang, bang, bang. Wrong.
Okay.
Wrong.
Nerdgirl's like, you know what? I'm just going to let them go.
Yeah, I'm going to let them argue.
Right. Then you don't have to give up any of your secrets and you can just continue to win. You're like, oh, yeah, that's great. They can talk about the bad Aristocrats players and I'll just sit over here knowing what the things are that fix this.
I think the Aristocrat players are really hard to deal with. I don't think a board clear answers it because they rebuild. They have a lot of graveyard stuff. Killing the whole board typically just makes everyone take 5 to 10, which is pretty great for them. And you've wiped the rest of the board, which for an Aristocrat player, oftentimes we have the best ability to get back on the board quickly, recur a bunch of stuff out of the graveyard, and we jump out ahead much faster than most of the other players who've expended more of their resources with no ability to get those back. So I think it's a tough deck to deal with. As good as Mald is at playing against those players.
I'm not even saying I'm good. They're trying to appeal to a fake ego that is not in the room with us right now. I'm talking about boots on the ground experience. Continue, liar.
No, that's good. I said my piece. I'll let you guys continue to fight.
I think we have kind of danced around, though, one of the things that about this archetype is its floor is very high. So even the players that the decks are built poorly, that they are not playing it well, just if you just play the stuff in your hand, and then bad stuff happens to you, sometimes the deck just works anyway. It's like, oh wow, you played directly into a board wipe. Doesn't matter because you bolstered life total, you drew a new hand, you drained some people out. Oh, you weren't ready for 3 players attacking you. Okay, but like they couldn't coordinate quite well enough to commit to that full attack on you. So you still had enough resources. You still had like blocks for one and life gain for another. And the number of things that stop this archetype, it's very rare that commander decks are running these cards, especially in like bracket 3 or lower, because you need like heavy graveyard exile, or you need farewell, or you need like a stacks piece that turns off a sacrifice outlet, or all of these other things, because you can't target a single thing on their board and have that solve the problem. They have so many avenues that are just kind of built into the archetype that make it naturally strong, even if you suck.
It also has the like sort of same thing that with the Spellslinger deck. It has the protection of looking weak for a really long time on the board until it's kind of too late, or they're incredibly too difficult to interact with because they have multiple pieces, ways to recur, ways to sack in response. And so it's sort of similar to Spellslinger in that you should bully them early so that way they can't build up the pieces that they need to do the thing.
Yeah, most Aristocrat decks I have played against, and I believe the entire archetype, is basically just a glorified like A plus B plus C, which is most commander decks, but it's very straightforward. Like, I'm making a loop of kill thing, get thing I got to get new thing to kill.
Yeah.
And I would actually, the place I think it differs from Spellslinger is Spellslinger, the moment you play that first thing, somebody knows what's up. I think Aristocrat players, by and large, get away with highway robbery in terms of you can play one of your three things really early and nobody will blink.
Right.
And I never fucking understand this because I play Archmage Emeritus, guns, hammers. They play like, but when I've had to convince people to kill Z, like they play Bastion of Remembrance, everyone's like, nah, it's a fine card.
Right.
And like air raid sirens going off in my head.
That's the thing we lose to.
Right. And so for playing it on my end, I think I would advise people, you can actually run out one of your three core pieces really early and just lie about how good it is, and people will fall for it. You have to be very careful about playing the second and the third, though, because and again, I'm speaking apparently for all the bad Aristocrats players. I still love you guys, even though these two don't. Stuff always goes wrong for them when they play part B of that ABC combo, and they do not have a way to immediately get to C, and they played part B to get more value out of A, and that is when the table turns on them immediately, and then it's like removal spam, combat damage spam, and they get knocked out relatively quickly.
Well, they don't get a chance to do that against you because you board cleared on part A.
Okay, I don't even play white decks, so can we stop pretending like I even have
You
the board
said.
I Rivers Rebuke people. I Season of Weaving you. Like it's I'm snapping you. Don't I'm board clearing you. It's different. Please. All right, most overrated card in the archetype.
Blood Artist.
I was gonna say, come on, man. All right. Yep. Facts.
You're going to put it in, but it's just the picture on the deck box for most Aristocrat decks. And while I think it deserves a space in the 99, it's not the headliner. There are so many better payoffs that are less resistant or less likely to be removed, larger payoff. And yeah, she's getting power crept out a little bit. She's still in the 99. Well, obviously that she can't go in the command zone, but you know what I mean? She's no longer the face of it like everybody says.
Yeah. I think the target hurts it a fair bit instead of hitting everybody for one, which is where it seems like y'all have a lot of those too, quite frankly. My most overrated card, entire archetype. I hate it. I despise it, and I will board wipe you on turn 2, apparently. What about you?
I have two that are going to contradict each other, but I don't care.
I'll take the worst one.
One is Midnight Reaper.
Oh, is that the thing? Die, you draw a card, lose one life?
Yes, but it is non-token.
Oh, yeah, that's rough.
And so, like, sure, one person is going to comment and be like, it's the best card in my deck. And then it's like, yeah, because your entire deck is built around specifically doing these aristocrat things with non-token creatures, but the average aristocrat deck is doing them with tokens, and it is probably better than not because it is easier to make a mass of little garbage token creatures. And so your Midnight Reaper ends up not drawing you the cards that you would have gotten off of other things.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah. The other problem is it is not a choice. So that does leave your opponents an avenue to try and eliminate you, or sometimes could lock you up on stuff.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen very often, but it's just one more thing to add to it.
Is Morbid Opportunist any creature, right?
Any creature.
Yeah. So the difference is that one is actually a little bit more of a threat. Like a 3/2, it's not great. I still think that card belongs in the 99 in most decks. Some have more of a token strategy. I think that's going to be a sliding scale. If you have no tokens and you're more classic like recursion sack stuff, then I think it's great. If you are utilizing more of like a Mirkwood Bats strategy, then I agree with you. It's overrated.
Yeah. And specifically, I'm saying that Aristocrats is built better if you're doing tokens. And so if the average Aristocrat deck should be doing tokens and then therefore should not be playing Midnight Reaper.
So I have a Teysa deck, the one that when a black creature dies, you make the 3 white spirit tokens, and that's the major point. That's the only real token generation that I have. So I like Midnight Reaper in that deck because the whole deck focuses on playing black creatures, recurring them out of the graveyard, sacking them to make spirits to exile people's stuff.
Can't believe you're the one commenter that's saying, "Oh, but my Aristocrat deck is different because I built it around
It's not
non-token
different.
creatures."
It just is based around non-token creatures, so it exists. It's
exactly the thing that I said.
It's not special. It's just how you build it.
What's your other overrated card?
My other one, which goes directly against what I just said, is Moldervine Reclamation.
Oh yeah, but that card clean fucking sucks. I don't know how to describe why.
It's because it's 5 mana.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so it's 5 mana enchantment, and then whenever a creature you control dies, you draw a card and gain a life. It's very strong. It's very strong if you can resolve it and get to do the thing.
I'm playing it. It's a lot harder to interact with, which is why I like it, and it's not only once per turn like most of the other triggers. So it makes you board wipe like immune. It's just I'm not a big Golgari sack player.
Yeah, that's the other big one. Is
I would rather be either Orzhov or Rakdos. But if I'm running like Korvold, or what's his name?
Yeah,
Korvold.
Like I'm running that card.
See, that's the thing is if I'm running Korvold, then that is your Aristocrats deck. They are all in one card in the command zone. I still don't run Moldervine Reclamation in that deck because I've got it in the command zone. But
I'm inclined to agree with you. Again, I'm apparently the natural predator of really bad Aristocrats players, but Moldervine has been one of those cards where it gets played at a time where people have a lot of mana, so they have more tools they are willing to spend on who they identify as a threat. And Moldervine is almost always played as that B card that is the second piece of a really, really imperious loop, and everybody turns on you and you tapped out or damn near tapped out to play it, and then you have a bunch of other, like a table full of people who have access to like 4 to 7 mana depending on the turn, who all hate you now. Let's move on to underrated cards. What's a sleeper hit? Yeah, what's a sleeper hit for us, Aristocrat?
Everybody's really high on Mirkwood Bats. That sees play in like all of the decks. Everybody's really excited. But the card that if you're really contemplating Mirkwood Bats, I think not enough people are running Mandrake Glory Dominus. Now, I know that might not go in some of the other ones, but you see that more in I kill you with token decks as opposed to sacrifice decks. But he has a built-in sack outlet. He's an indestructible beater, which you kind of need after a board clear sometimes. Like, it's good for an Aristocrat deck to have like infinite blocks and doubling all your tokens. But I see people running like a Teysa, they have a Mirkwood Bats, and they don't have this. And it's not like unheard of to play. It's just, it's not a huge sleeper.
Yeah, like it's a popular card, but I agree it's not popular I've never seen an Aristocrat player play Mondrak. I've seen many a token player do it.
It's like on EDH Rec, it's about 15-20% underplayed compared to Mirkwood Bats. But I feel like it's in the same ballpark. Now, it doesn't necessarily share the same color, but I think a lot of like Teysa or Zoffy decks, Illis Ilkor, but they're not running Mondrak. I think that's a good one for the conversation.
Fools. Do you agree, Veggie?
Fools. And for our audio listeners, I'm pointing at my co-hosts and not at the viewer. I don't like token doublers in decks, like unless the thing that you can do is make a bunch of tokens in a single shot. Because in that case, I would just rather that card make the tokens itself, because it makes it safer for, like, if you draw your opening hand and you're like, cool, this Mondrak, if it just made tokens, this hand is great, but it doesn't, and doesn't have the thing I need. I lean much more towards a card that does the thing that I want on the card versus a thing that amplifies other cards, unless it amplifies a ton of things in a way that a redundant card would not.
So I'm comparing it to, if Mirkwood Bats is in your deck, this is something that should be considered. So like, you have enough tokens to be excited about a Mirkwood Bats, you should be excited about a Mondrake.
Yes. I'm gonna make the argument that that is still not enough for me.
Interesting.
Because you still get a good bit of value out of a Mirkwood Bats in a token, like, not token light, but like token mid deck. But you will not get the value that you want in a token mid deck out of Mondrak.
Okay, so Veggie is again appealing to what I love to do, which is an idiot straw man. I think if you're playing a token mid deck and you put Mirkwood Bats in, you should be forcibly re-educated. We need to build a new kindergarten. Just
I would
for
rather
you.
have an indestructible creature that has a built-in sack outlet for the rest of my stuff, without, like, the Mirkwood Bats doesn't do anything if you only have a few triggers. In that case, I would rather have the token creators than a weak Mirkwood.
Yeah, but let's say even all right. So your deck is almost entirely tokens. I still like a thing that itself makes tokens at a than a doubler. I think Mondrak would be the one that I would make the exception for, but I really have to look at that deck to be making it for that one.
I kind of agree. I think it's interesting how you view him primarily as a doubler, and I'm like, oh, he's great. The doubling is extremely whatever, but instant speed sack outlet, guy who cannot die, seems very valuable. And I think this is, again, bias of you play against very good decks and I play against my friends who feel joy, not him. And like, I'm imagining how many political schemes I had crafted that would have fallen flat into somebody who had a Mondrak, and I'm like, oh, that would have saved a lot of these motherfuckers.
Right, because my argument only goes so far as to say, you're like, oh yeah, you are playing against, like, good players, and I'm going, yeah, Mondrak bad, and then the good players that I play against that I lose to are NerdGirl, who is saying Mondrak good. So, like, what is that? I can only back this up so much.
That's what we call a contrarian sandwich.
The nice thing about it is none of the aspects of it is that powerful, but it does everything. Indestructible, blocker, threat after board clear, sacrifice, bonus fodder. And I think when you add all those things up, it is more than worth it.
That's amore.
I do want to jump in before we jump to the next category, because I wanted to.
Wow.
Nobody else has done an underrated
She's
card.
like, the two of you
I
have
thought you both did.
cannot.
You
Yeah.
dumbasses
Okay.
don't get
I
to-
thought I was last.
Wow. No, we're snake drafting. We're going back and forth.
Okay.
I'm gonna tamp down the urge to say Buster Sword, and I'm not gonna look at my co-host while I say this. I truly believe, again, not a slept-on card in general, you Aristocrats players moved on from Sun Titan too quickly. You did, and you're wrong for it.
I like Sun Titan.
Yeah,
That's what I'm fucking talking about. Up top. Thank you. Veggie, what's your card? What the hell?
My card is Braids. Not the super mean one, the 3-mana one.
That's the one that when you sack, they sack a thing.
Yeah.
Wait, when you sack, they get to choose, or you draw a bunch of cards?
Yeah.
That's underrated.
I think it is really good, and a lot of people know that it is really good, and I think it is still underrated. That should be one of the first cards you put in every deck that can run it. I'm not saying that I'm definitely not saying it's not played. I'm saying
it should have 100%.
It should have 100% inclusion
It should have
rate.
100% inclusion
that
rate.
card is incredible. It does everything for an absurd rate.
The only reason I'm disagreeing is because I think it is included in all of them, and it should be. And if it's not, that player is just wrong. But I think the inclusion rate on EDH Rec has got to be really high on that.
I feel like this is
Right?
one where you've actually been tricked by capitalism, Veggie, because I think like Braids is like more than $10 card, right? Is it? I can see
It is a $4 card.
It's a $4 card. I'm smoking crack.
It
today.
is a
I'm
$4
so sorry.
card at the most expensive option.
Never mind. I
Yeah.
thought that joint was like $20, and I had this whole argument planned about how, because I play a lot of Magic online where we use like Moxfield Playtester, and I have yet to play against an Aristocrat deck that did not have Braids in the list. And I was like, oh well, maybe that's just because we're using Moxfield Playtester. We don't have to have purchased the $20 card. But yeah, if that's
it is at 28% inclusion on EDH Rec.
Okay, that's lower than I would have thought. Then yes,
Foolhardy.
that is undervalued, and you guys are wrong.
I'll give some perspective because I don't know exactly how this is calculated. The creature with the highest inclusion rate is Elenda with 34%. But I think that card should be Braids. Like,
Mirkwood Bats was also in the 30s when I was looking, because I was comparing Bat to Mondrake for that comparison. So yeah, I think if that's the number, then I agree.
oh, also, yeah, sorry. It was Elenda was the highest out of not counting the categories of high synergy cards or top cards. Yeah, okay. Here's this perspective. Cruel Celebrant is 55%. Blood Artist is 55%. Braids is 28%.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Oh yeah, that is incorrect. The moment you put a Blood Artist in, Braid should come taped to the back of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now
I wanted to disagree because that in my head could not be correct.
Right.
Like that can't be underrated, but apparently you guys aren't playing it, and that's dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been spoiled because every
It's-
deck that has been on Decked Out that is doing Aristocrats is running Braids.
It's like the Ryan Gosling of Aristocrats. You're like, how could that be underrated? He's so wonderful. Even more movies. Movies.
Only thing I wanted to add before we move on to the normal segment is I think we should add new cards people should be aware of. Now, I know you guys weren't prepared for this, so I just want to throw mine out there, but I think we should add it for next week.
Wow.
Unless you guys look at it up right now.
Wow.
What?
That's fucked. Yeah, go ahead.
We usually know, but
No, I respect the hustle. You got me. Go ahead.
I wasn't trying to stop you from speaking. That's impossible. But I think a new card that's really cool that I wanted to highlight for Aristocrats was Endless Foot Assault. We talked a little bit about it during the thing, but it makes so many tokens. And if you could just hit them with like a Mirkwood Bats or something small, there's usually some little idiot creature. Even if you just send a token to its death,
Yeah.
you get to create all the things. It's crazy.
Right. So you love Endless Foot Assault?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's really good.
You
I
would
haven't
love to see that all the time?
I haven't gotten
Yeah.
to play an Aristocrat deck since it came out, but I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna keep going.
right
and
on the table.
I'm gonna ignore everything you're saying. So you should totally put Endless Foot Assault in your deck. It's not dirty.
Man, I picked Buster Sword. Fuck y'all. What do you got?
I mean, if I had to think of one now, the top one would be the card that Nerd Girl mentioned. But we also got Continue in that set.
Yeah, Continue is in my brain too. Is like
2 mana, bring back 4 creatures that died this turn.
for when somebody board wipes you on turn 4.
Right. Like in instant speed, that is wild.
Yeah. One thing that will pick apart an Aristocrats player is if you like target a thing with removal and it's like, oh, I can sack it for value, but it's like now I have to sack it, and this was actually one of the pieces I really wanted to keep. And then if they have recursion, you lose anyway.
Right.
But if they don't, they're so fucked. And now you can just be like, yeah, I'll sack my whole board, bring my whole board back. I don't care. What do you want? What do you want? Peanut butter jelly time, idiot.
So I like this segment. I vote that we should add this to the list of the segment things.
I agree.
Huzzah.
All right, core principles for playing against these motherfuckers. A, what?
Stop it.
Stop playing against them. Yeah, that's the best
No.
way to do it.
Away. All right, core principles. What should you remove first? Like, what should be alarm bells go off?
Their life total.
You can't. It doesn't work. I got life gain.
Let me frame this a different way. My fault. That is my bad. What category of effect that they can lay on the board should be the one that most perks up your ears? Is it a thing that would draw them? And I realize this is all like in the context of how many cards they have, how much life they have, how many creatures they have. But is it like the card draw engine, the life loss engine, the creature making engine, or some other unnamed thing?
Yeah, it's going to depend what the total number of pieces are, but it's either the creature making engine or potentially the sack outlets. But those are tough because they are pretty replaceable. We tend to have a lot of duplicates. But oftentimes, if you can slow them down with the sack outlet option to buy the rest of the table more time, that's usually pretty key.
Yeah, you have to quickly like determine how they've built the deck, because we've mentioned a lot of things, a lot of pieces that can be in a deck, but you can't balance all of those things in one deck. So usually people will build it so that one of those categories is kind of like overlapped. So let's say they make a bunch of creatures that can sacrifice themselves, so they don't have many sack outlets because then you don't need them. Or they aren't running a lot of creatures, they just run a lot of things that produce like token bodies constantly, like Bitter Blossom or something. But they don't have little creatures they can actually cast and put on the board. And so that's an important part to me on figuring out where to attack, because if they're like that second category, I've got a bunch of permanents that produce bodies constantly, that is what you attack. If, it's like Jadar, a Theomancer, Bitterbloom Bearer, those kinds of things where they're like, okay, I need this on the board to make the bodies for me to sacrifice, and I don't have my little dinky actual creatures that I can play. You attack those and they don't have anything to sacrifice.
I agree with bodies, and this is because apparently the hot take of this fucking century, I fully believe it's easier to burn these people out of resources than these two are leading you to believe. You can do it. Believe in yourself. Send combat damage at these fools. But to do that, you have to get rid of their endless army of 1/1s if they are able to make them. The only caveat I'll put to that is what you talked about. You have to determine what flavor of deck they're making, because some aristocrats do recursion, some aristocrats do no recursion. They're like, once you're in the graveyard, I'm done thinking about you. And if they are a recursion one, you take out the recursion instantly. I am holding removal for the recursion piece, because that is normally the part they skip on the most. They will have a few very powerful ways to recur, but they are few and far between. Yeah,
the recursions that you can target are like Ayara, or I forget the Forgotten something. Fudge. I'm bad with card names. It's like a 1/2 sack 2 return a thing.
Oh, yes, the Forgotten Fudge.
Priest of the Forgotten Gods.
But the ones where you can't really interact or remove it is like Sylvain's Reclamation, stuff like that. I love putting that in my Aristocrat deck because it is it's only 1 or 2 creatures at a time, but that's 3 creatures for 1, with the idea that it is getting those like cornerstone pieces of the deck that you need, where you can, okay, cool, here's my big finisher. I'll bring back Zuluport and Blood Artist and then sack my whole board and get you. So those are a lot harder to interact with as far as recursion goes.
I like how I was talking about things to remove, and NerdGirl was like, yeah, well, what version of it you can't remove?
Well,
what about that?
Yeah.
Chuckle fuck. What about that idiot?
The recursion's not usually on the board. So you can't, that's the one you can't interact with, I think.
I think this is just biased on you play Magic too good. You play Magic too good. That's your fault. That's not my fault. I'm with the people. I see you playing your recursion engines on board, and I'm sweeping them up.
I'll give another example for like flavor and then angle of attack. So I have this Sephiroth deck that I've been playing in CEDH, but it's also like functions fine as a bracket 4 deck. And it does not have a lot of payoffs for sacrifice because the payoff is in the command zone. Sephiroth on board means I can start pinging people whenever things are sacrificed. And the reason that he's so good is if I can get him flipped, my payoff is now an emblem, which can't be touched. But if you have a deck like that, if you attack the payoffs, then all I am looking at in my hand is, oh, well, I have a reassembling skeleton that now doesn't do anything. So it really is about assessing what kind of Aristocrats deck this is, because if I'm not gaining anything off of it, or I like
Veggie, it like puts sack 3 creatures on the stack, and someone's like, "Cool, light up Sephiroth."
So maybe, all right, I'm going to put out yet another wonderful Maldism that I believe to be true and will probably be wrong. And this is true for most decks, but then maybe the argument is more so than most, Aristocrat decks mandate commander hate. Because when I think about Aristocrat decks and what's made them fold, the thing the Aristocrat player is always skipping on in redundancy is their command zone. Like the Sephiroth players have skipped payoffs. I played against a few Shire players. They have skipped recursion outside of Shire.
Teysa original
skip token makers.
Skip sack outlet.
And so and that's what makes it hard, because commander is the game where like, oh, my guy's dead, not for long, idiot. And so the most effective way to do it is to have repeated single target removal and always fire immediately at their commander. And
you know what? That's, I think, to me, the most correct way to put this.
Up top.
Because if you have to assess what flavor of Aristocrat deck it is, the quickest way you can do it is look at the commander, assume that that is the thing that they have skipped out on. They have less options for that. And if you can keep either that or the things that do a similar thing off the board, then that is your best way to stop them doing what they want to do.
Yeah, and some people will have the immediate reaction to that, like, oh, well, you're just saying get rid of the commander, but everybody's deck relies on their commander. Hey, you're bad at this game. And that's okay.
Also, don't feel bad about it. The Aristocrats is like the deck that's guaranteed to function without their commander. Like, don't feel bad at all.
Feel bad. I don't know why anymore. What he said made sense.
I don't think Mald was saying feel bad for killing their commander. I thought Mald was saying that.
Oh yeah. I was saying like because there is some people who are like, but every deck
he was saying
falls apart completely without its commander, and I'm like, that's not actually true. That is fake. You can certainly build decks that require it, but there are many decks that don't.
Yes. And of all of the archetypes, Aristocrats is one of the ones that like it would be, you would have to try to build a deck that just doesn't function without your Aristocrat commander.
Right.
I mean, there are some more generic-y ones, like Ellis Ilkor is a pretty popular commander that I would argue doesn't need the commander. And Teysa, a lot of times I don't play her until the very, very end.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it does shut down the deck, but I'm saying that's a quick way to decide which one of these threat types is the one that you should target to slow that player down. Because I think it depends on the commander. My guess would be half of them that would be very, very effective, and the other half can still utilize the resources that they have to where they don't need it. For example, I play Teysa. You guys blow her up. I'm like, cool, sack these 2 things, make these creatures, exile, and get a bunch of triggers on the way out. She's dead. I'll just replay her next turn. She's only 3 mana. Now she's 5. So it's very, very tough to interact with when the game plan is sack a bunch of stuff anyway, and on the way out I get a bunch of things. I think Sephiroth is one of the ones that have the best example for being able to be fully answered, but something like Ellis or Teysa I think is a lot harder to do.
Nerdgirl sounds nervous. I think we figured her out. I think this is the strat. I think you and me got it.
No. The thing that makes you both are crazy. That would never work. I wouldn't even try it.
I could just replay the. It wouldn't even stress me.
What a
out.
huge miss! I would be embarrassed if I saw somebody make that move in a game against me.
You would look like a fool.
Okay. Feel free to kill Ellis Ilkor 20,000 times. That'll be fine. I don't mind.
Let's move on to what politicking works or doesn't work. I genuinely feel like you can't politic with these people.
Well, is it with or is it around? Because I think the politicking that does work is going, hey, this archetype is very strong, and we're not. If we let them have stuff, then it's a problem. Like, make sure that we assess these things correctly. Team against the Aristocrats player?
So let's start with the Aristocrats player, and then let's move to around the Aristocrats player. So can you politic with them?
Nope, because their stuff hits the whole table.
Can you be politicked with, Nerd Girl?
Yeah,
Lies.
a little bit.
A little bit.
Very. Did it? It has come out. Yes, it has. Zabricus had Porcupine Friend was killing me slowly with Ellis Ilcor and a few other things, but Veggie was the immediate I will die now. In fact, we will all die now. So we had to team up to where Zabricus tried to mitigate sack outlets, but I knew I was going to be taking some chunks each turn, but we had to make a deal to deal with Veggie, and it worked. And then I just kind of kept something in the can for when I needed to blow it up eventually once Veggie was dealt with. So it's sort of that guillotine thing. It's coming down slowly. You have 4 turns, but if I don't make a deal with them, if I don't get their removal and access to their resources to take down the immediate threat, then we die in 1 turn versus 5 or 6. And then at that point, you're just trying to buy yourself time to find more answers to deal with them versus dying immediately.
I think that's cap. Again. We need a Nerd Girl lie counter for this episode.
I'm not lying.
Because I think in that situation, everybody can be politicked with. In the situation of somebody else is a threat that we have an extinction level event happening in 1 turn, every deck in the game can be politicked with.
So I think the difference is with Aristocrats decks, at least at the power level decked out is on, is it is very obvious whether they're going to be able to kill you on their next turn. And so you can pretty reasonably assess whether you have more time against them specifically, but against like maybe hasty dinosaurs or dragons, that's not something that you can lock in.
Okay, so you can do the math around them better than you can other archetypes.
So it's okay to politic with them if you can math that it is appropriate to do so, which it won't always be the case.
I've had the opposite experience.
I would agree.
Because with me, the Aristocrats player, this is actually interesting because it also harkens back to how we thought of Spellslinger differently than you, and you had that like more tempo-y, like, oh, I'm going to chip you for 2 every turn. The Aristocrats decks that I play against are always angling for like ping for 1, loop for 40. And like the trying to identify exactly when that loop is coming has oftentimes felt very impossible. There have been some times where the ramp up has been more moderate. Like Z has a Kaisar deck where it's like, I kill 1, I make 2, I kill 1, I make 2, I kill 1, I make 2. You let me do that like 5 times, now you're definitely going to die. But even that one's like half overrun, half aristocrat. Like they're just throwing bodies into the chipper, and if they die in combat, we get pinged. It's not like a dedicated sacrifice deck. All the dedicated sacrifice decks were like, I'm searching for pieces, I might bother you a little bit, but when it comes together, we're doing creature storm almost.
Right. Yeah, Nerd Girl, you're saying this because your style of Aristocrats can be politicked with because you can do the math. But if it is not your style, a lot of them will just be like, okay, I've only got my 1 blood artist or blood artist type thing on the board, and you're like, okay, they need to sacrifice like 8 creatures on their turn, and they have no board. All right, I think I'm pretty safe there. And then they're like, cool, play 8 creatures, sack them all now.
And if they have a good amount of cards in hand and a sack outlet on board and all of the things, then I'm putting that into my calculation, certainly. But I think, and this is more of a power level thing, I think, more than a my play style thing, because I think as you get to higher power levels, when you have like exsanguinate, like when you have combos or things that pump out or make 8 creatures with sack outlets, if they have a marionette apprentice, like things like that are really, really problematic and I cannot answer them in response, then sure, that's something you have to consider. But I find at the level 2 and even level 3 brackets, I can tell when death is coming. And sometimes there is a bigger fish to fry. But that could just be me.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is the scenario we're discussing, right? Is when there is a bigger fish to fry. Is it safe to politic with the Aristocrats player, right? And I feel like even in 2s and 3s, there's plenty of white spells that are like make 5 bodies. There's plenty of black spells that are like play a bunch of things that and sacrifice them.
But then they have to have the sacrifice outlet and the blood artist, and I have to be able to not interact with all of these things, and they have to have a spell that makes 5 bodies.
Well,
that's
as
a
we
lot
have
of
already
ifs.
covered, you always have blood artist. You
Right,
always
right.
have a sack outlet. You always have 10 bodies on your board all of the time because it's impossible to remove these people's pieces. It's impossible to kill them with combat damage. You have infinite life. You have infinite astronauts altars.
Because I think the things that you said are true, but the situation does not really allow for that. Because if I have to politic with another player against a third player, it means I'm making that deal because I need to spend more of my resources than I feel comfortable with, and with another player that is also trying to win the game. And so if I have to make a deal with another player, I'm going, great. If I tap out here, which is the thing that we need to do collectively for me to kill this player, then what, am I safe against you?
Yeah, like the Aristocrats, whenever I politic with an Aristocrats player, I have always gotten fucked for it because of they can never choose like how it's going down. I think ironically, the only time I would feel comfortable doing it is if I saw Blood Artist. I would politic with an Aristocrats player who had a Blood Artist out and not one with a Bastion of Remembrance, because if they can point the damage, then it's like, okay, if you go infinite, you won no matter what. Me making the political decision didn't matter. But so many Aristocrats players are on the power crept Blood Artist that hit everybody for maximum value. And as soon as they have that, I'm like, well, I can't make a deal with you because if anything good happens for you, you're going to run with it as much as you can. Maybe you have a difficult to interact with payoff.
But then you guys are saying that, so if you are trying to like make deals with them, right? The question is should we? So you have to assume that you are making a deal with this person to deal with a third person. So sure, we can say, oh, I can't make a deal with you because you might have a spell that makes 5 bodies. But if I don't, I die to the dinosaur.
That's not what I'm saying though. I think that this is not I'm not going to completely revise the position. I think there's a spectrum of when you have to politic with people. I think you're talking about like 11th hour politicking. And this is because your politicking is I hit you, and I make deals when somebody's going to kill me.
Well, the question was, can you politic with these players? And the answer from you two was no.
Yeah.
You cannot do it. And I'm saying there are situations in which you can. It doesn't matter what the hour is. I'm saying there's some math involved. That's all. And you have to weigh those options. It's poker. What are the chances that they have it? And what are the chances that you die to Veggie's dinosaur?
Hold on. This sounds a lot like Nuance.
Yeah, fuck nuance.
We don't do that here.
All right, so I will amend my position then. I will admit I spoke too hastily. I spoke in an exaggeratory manner. I will amend the position. You cannot politic with Aristocrats players outside of situations in which you are forced to politic with literally anybody to make it to your next turn.
Yeah.
Like in that situation, yes, there is no like magical aegis preventing you from making a deal with them or preventing them from holding it up. But I would say they are the last person at the table I would ever politic with.
Yeah. If we need the nuance, it is on the spectrum of archetypes that you are making deals with. The ones you will end up losing that game the most to Aristocrats is very high.
I disagree.
As the Aristocrats player who wins a lot, you can definitely...
I think
Step
that
into my
they
office.
have tools that you can decide whether you have the answers to, and it's other decks that you can't answer. Like
No, this won't stand. You two have spent 50 minutes calling me an idiot because I have said their tools can be interacted with, and you two have both been like, not really. Not really. They just kind of get you, Like if you go in and you try to get it, it's like, it's an enchantment. You don't have enchantment room. Oh my God, I get it out of the grave. It's been an hour.
they're harder to interact with, but that goes in the math of making your deals.
Then it seems like the math is bad.
Not always.
Okay, let's talk about politicking around them. How do you convince everybody to gang up on Nerd Girl? Nerd Girl, how would you do it if you had to trick everybody into getting a clone of you who is playing your Tesa deck, but they were running 3 illegal copies of Braids, and they therefore had a stronger deck?
Yeah. I know what it is. This works on every Aristocrats player that is not Nerd Girl, because it does not. I don't know. It hasn't worked there. But if you do the math for the rest of the table, then they go, oh, because that's normally the thing is like they'll players somehow see the 3 blood artists on board, and they're like, all right, well, like, yeah, that's a problem, but like, man, dinosaur, that's gonna hit me hard. And you go, okay, walk with me. They have these 3 things, and they have a sack outlet. That means if they can play 2 creatures, of which we've seen 5 so far that cost 1, then they can kill you at instant speed. And you have to walk them through it. And then at that point, they're like, ah, yes, I would like to not die. And you go, great, dinosaur hit you for 8, not dead. Unhappy, yes, not dead. And they go, okay.
I want to know in what instance 2 1-drops is the lethal, but the dinosaur for 8
Yeah,
isn't?
okay. I
When
didn't say I was good at doing the math. I said
when one of them's Gravecrawler.
Right.
Done.
There we go.
Done.
I think Veggie's close. The scenario I like to do, I like the math part, but give them a good card that is very feasible for them to have and lay out what that scenario looks like. And that's part of doing that math. And the math is not just what's on board. For example, a good card to bring up would be, what happens to us all if Sir Conrad is drawn?
Yeah.
Like that is a big piece that ends games. And so then the players can judge for themselves how bad that card would be for them. You don't want to be like, oh, if they rip a card that makes 17 bodies, then you're dead. Like you don't want it to be too exaggeratory. But a Sir Conrad off the top is pretty reasonable. Oh, they have 4 cards. Like they have enough pieces right now to where something small could be very problematic.
Yeah. Actually, this is particularly effective because of what we've already talked about, how Aristocrats is the deck that has the most redundancy. So oftentimes you can be like, hey, what happens if Sir Conrad gets drawn? And like, you know, the table or the Aristocrat player goes, well, okay, that's 1 card. And you're like, okay, yeah, man. You also have LSO core. They're like, yeah, it's in here. You're like, you also have Blood Artist? They're like, yeah, it's in here. And you're like, you also have the blank. And they're like, yeah, that's all in here. And then you're like, cool. So it is actually really likely that you draw a Sir Conrad.
I'm not going to draw Sir Conrad. Anyway, I'll tap 4 Sir Bonrad.
Right.
And that could also be any sack outlet.
Right.
Like, you know, you don't necessarily see those pieces and how deadly they can be if they find, you were saying A, B, C.
Yeah.
You don't, see, you know, pointing out that C could be there, or like the Sylvain's Reclamation gets them 2 of the pieces.
Yeah.
And so just making sure that the rest of the table is aware of that. And sometimes it doesn't mean that everybody kills them, but everybody's like, oh, okay, maybe I only hit Mauled a little, but I take out this piece from this other player to sort of soften that blow.
Yeah.
I think this is really good stuff for mid-game politicking when things are getting tense. Let's talk about how to bully them out of the game turn 1. The best strategy for that, which works on them, I promise you, because everyone's trying to avoid like butthurt feels bad, and a lot of when you're playing in Gen Pop with people you don't know.
Yep.
Easiest thing. Oh, you're gonna gain that life back.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're you have LSO core in the command zone. Like,
Yeah.
come on, you're gonna get it all back.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta swing at you first because you're the life gain deck. You're the life gain deck.
Just wave it off as like, oh, you're the one. You're gonna gain like 50 life over the course of this game. I'm just trying to pre-equalize.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
you're gonna
they're
have
in the ground.
you're gonna have blockers later that you can
Yeah,
sacrifice.
it's like,
I gotta get the damage in
and
now.
then
You know.
in the ground.
I like both of those as ways to make the feel bads less. And I agree with you. One of the biggest strategies for decks that you have difficulty dealing with is getting their life total to a reasonable point. So that way, if you become a problem, if you get to the point where a top deck sack outlet is lethal to the table, then we need to be able to kill you. And that's very hard to do if you're at 40.
Yeah.
So I think that's very reasonable. I've never really felt the need to justify why I hit someone on turn 1, but that's just me.
I think this is also like we are in positions in our lives where we have the privilege of playing with people we already know and for the most part know are cool and know we want to play with and play with again. This is for those of you going to LGSs or conventions, or maybe you're going to like a commander night with friends but you don't know everybody there, and you want to do the correct thing and not just throw the game to the Aristocrats player,
Right.
but you don't want to come off like you're over targeting them, because some people can get very, very defensive about it.
Yeah.
So that is my like, here's how you diffuse that.
So I think one of the things we brought up for spell slingers as well was the idea that I don't have tools to answer your deck.
Yeah.
Because this deck plays a lot like spell slinger in that way, where you need these 3 setup pieces, and then I can't deal with anything.
Yeah. I actually, you read my mind. I was about to say, the conversation we've had here has been almost identical to the one we had about Spellslinger, where it's like, can you politic with them? No, because they're very good at going over the top of you. Can't, how do you justify, or what do you do early? Oh, you just hit them and you say, I can't deal with what you can do later in the game, which just supports it. This is in fact creature Spellslinger.
I do think there's the notable difference of, we said that Spellslingers could be politicked with early on, and then once they had any type of critical mass, you could not.
Yeah.
I will never politic with an Aristocrat player for a like from minute 1 when Z pulls out a Mardu deck, I'm like, enemies. Enemies.
That's wrong.
It can't
That's
be.
wrong.
And yet every time that is informed by every time I have not done it and allowed them to cook, it has ended with my burnt bones on the ground. And every time I have been like, die. It's worked.
And some of those times you died to a dinosaur.
No.
No, you win every single time you kill Z first.
Yes.
That can't be right. Who are you playing with?
You know what? Actually,
Multiple different people.
somebody, whoever's running the numbers on Decked Out, tell me how many times I've won if I eliminated Nerd Girl first. It's like 2 games, but tell me if I won, because that's probably it's probably very telling.
Your win rate probably is higher if you kill me first. That's true.
Z's very good. I cannot allow them to survive. Right. Like if Z is allowed to create purchase on a commander game, it's very bad for me.
And also, like, it's similar where that they have no problem going, well, I'll do a very mean thing to you and you will not get to play anymore because I play with you all the time and I know you. And that's same thing for some of us here. It's like, oh, I could just attack Veggie for the first 5 turns and it's fine because I play with him all the time and don't also trust what he's going to do later. But like, yeah.
And to pre-disqualify the stuff that I just said, a lot of those examples are at conventions, and those games are terrible data because people take it very easy on me because people are nice to me. They're like, oh, I watch your videos. I also agree with you about fucking Ziatora. I won't remove your commander. And then I get to auto win because of that. And so, yeah, it's bad. Yeah. It's bad data.
Yeah, to be clear,
it is true data.
This is the only reason that we all became content creators, was just so that we could win games of Magic.
Oh, I was going to go talking about fucking Ziatora. That's my fault. Yeah, winning.
Yeah.
I like how the whole thing kind of wrapped up, and we didn't really see this going into it, but that the play style, the politicking, and the way that the deck is typically piloted is very similar to the Spellslinger episode. And now I'm really interested to make sure how this conversation shifts when we do something that is a drastically different, like a Tifa Lockhart, like Glass Cannon or Big Dinosaurs, and how the politicking and, how you can combat the tools that they're using will shift, because I think that's very, very cool.
Boy
Okay,
question
nerd.
time? Yeah, it was weirdly serious.
Yeah.
Boy question. Real quick before we do the boy question, I want to let you guys know that this is a new series that we're doing. Hopefully we'll do more. Leave us comments. Let us know if you A, like it, and B, which archetype we should do next, because we love to hear your guys' thoughts on these. And now we're going to answer a question from Nate on Spotify. #boy question. What were your childhood hobbies?
Oh boy. I don't want to.
Say words.
My first hobby was trains. So my first hobby was trains. I was a train kid. I had a big Thomas Tank Engine collection. I had the tracks. I had the little magnetic guys. I had Brio.
Race car bed?
Did not know. That would have been the dream, but no, I had normal bed, but like, yeah, I had an extensive Brio collection, which are the wooden ones that have little tracks, and stuff like that. Like if you would ask me as a young child what I wanted to be when I grew up, it was a train engineer.
Oh, I want us all to answer that question. That's cute.
That was my very first childhood hobby, and here I am, a Magic the Gathering content creator. That's all I'll say.
All right, Mald.
Well, I don't want to. All right, no. You've set this trap for yourself, so I'm gonna walk into it. My hobbies were mostly RuneScape. I was very much a video game kid because I got bullied a lot, but my mom demanded that she play all online video games with me so that I wouldn't get kidnapped because I was very gullible, and so I played like RuneScape, MapleStory, and World of Warcraft quite a lot. I was also into archery for a while. Was I good at it? No, but I was into it. And as to what I wanted to be when I grew up, the first time I was asked that, I remember I said doctor because I don't think it would bother me to hurt people, and you get a lot of money for doing that.
Okay.
And here he is, a Magic the Gathering content creator.
So my hobbies changed very drastically. I had the pre-nerd phase, which was up to junior high. And I was mostly play outside, bicycles, swimming pool. You could not get me out of the pool. Basketball, touch football, just whatever the neighborhood kids were doing, I was doing. I was out from sun up till sundown till my mom got mad at me because I wouldn't come in the house. I swam so much, my hair was green, and my hair is very dark, and it takes a long time for that to happen, but it happens. And then I got to
Sounds made up.
like 6th and 7th grade, and I found nerd stuff. D&D, Magic, Final Fantasy Online, PlayStation 1, all the things. And then that consumed my life, and I never saw the sun ever again.
Hell yeah.
And then now, yeah, those are the two nerd girls that existed. And then what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I still want to be when I grow up, is a paleontologist. One of my favorite things was digging in the little play blocks that they come with dinosaurs, and you get all the little pieces and then you build them and put them together. That was one of my favorite things that my mom used to buy me when I was a kid.
That's very sweet.
I have dinosaur books and little dinosaur stickers and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, I was a dragons kid.
That's how I got into game, was just like games was liking dragons, and someone got me a Hero Clicks piece, which is like Mage Knights for kids, because I was really into dragons, like figurines and things like that. And then I was like, oh, what's this game? And then it was over. I was playing Mage Knights at a game store, and then the kids at the next table were like, hey, come play D&D this next day. And then they were like, oh, you should come play Magic on Friday. And oh, you should come hang out, and we're all going to play Counter-Strike together. And I never saw the sun ever again.
Hell yeah.
Look, you can't spell paleontologist without pale.
I'm plenty of that.